Good evening and welcome to another episode of Movie Watch Live. Tonight, we're going to be watching The Princess Bride, which is a fantastic comedy fantasy film. And that stars, amongst other people, people like Billy Crystal, Peter Falk, famous for being Columbo, and also Andre the Giant, amongst many, many others. So joining me tonight, as usual, is one of my very best friends through YouTube and through this show, Carl. Good evening, Carl. How are you?
Good evening, Pete. Thank you for that touching introduction. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's going to be a good one tonight. It's going to be, sword play and high fantasy. Love it.
Absolutely. So both me and Carl have got this movie on Amazon Prime. So if you want to get that ready and set up, or if you've got it on DVD, that's fine with you either way. We're going to get started very quickly tonight because we've got a busy night. After the show, we're going to be hosting Carl is going to be hosting the Roundtable show. So do join us for that as well straight afterwards. So I'm going to, as usual, get the film started with a countdown from 3 to 1, and after 1 I'll say go. So without further ado, I'll start the countdown, which is 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, success so far.
Yep.
Now, how can I boomer this up to screw up this version of this episode? First, I've got to turn it down without closing out the window because it was very loud when the lion roared in my ear. Here we are at the credits.
Yeah.
Oh, subtitles are turned on, and so I don't even need to listen to it.
Yeah. I'm hearing Fred Savage coughing and now playing a baseball game on his.
I remember that game. That was on the original Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yeah.
Hell, I forget what it's called though.
Of course,
that's not NES. That's something else.
Yeah,
like a Coleco or something.
Yeah. I also remember Fred Savage from what was it? The Wonder Years, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's in the Wonder Years.
Yeah,
that's kind of like he was one of those kid actors that kind of translated it and made it.
Yeah. So here we go. This is the main story. I mean, tonight we're just going to relax and have a good time watching this film. It's really clever. It's really funny. And the person comes through the door there, Peter Falk, famous for just one more thing.
Columbo, my grandma's favorite show.
Exactly.
And then here he does come storming to the room like a creepy old grandpa.
Yeah. Hey, buy your book. I'm gonna put the annotations on mine so I don't.
It really helps. It really does. Let's see. Turn down even more. He's talking about having read the same story to young Fred Savage's father.
Yeah, it's like and in that sense, this is what the book, the film is really about, because it was originally a book,
right,
before it became a movie, and it's about the importance of, because even back in the 1980s, kids were starting to get into computer games and other things instead of reading books. So it's about the importance of preserving the book. What do you think about that, Carl? The importance of preserving books and preserving reading?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like an extension of the tale that you would tell through generations, and the spoken word too, just in another form, right?
Yeah.
So he's passing on this story that he taught his son to his grandson. So continuing it on generationally. It's interesting stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's important to kind of preserve our folklore, it's important to preserve your folklore so you can remember who you are and where you're coming from.
Yeah, absolutely.
Without a national folklore, what do you have? You don't have a culture.
This is it. So we now can see the farm boy, Wesley, played by Carrie. I've never been able to pronounce his surname correctly.
He's one of your people.
Elwes.
You better figure it out, pal.
Yeah. Elwes.
I've heard
Robin Wright.
I've heard Elwes. I've heard a number of things. It's certainly Welsh, though, isn't it?
I think it's pronounced Elves.
Elves.
We'll have to get Hooks is good with Welsh names and stuff like that. But I can't speak. I can say. I've actually I can't say any Welsh. I've forgotten.
I can't even read Welsh. There's
I
too
think
many
Nobby
consonants.
Dad means on something like that. It means good night or something. I don't know, but it's all Welsh to me. So this is the very lovely Robin Wright, who plays the romantic heroine, who is the title of the book, The Princess Bride.
Right.
Is this a kissing book?
Yeah.
When does it get good? Wesley, we've all been there, had no money for marriage.
Yeah. When I was that age, I'd wanted to get moving on the story too.
Yeah. But this movie's quite good because it does get right into the story quickly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, we're only like 4 minutes in, and we're already getting into the important bit where Wesley has to go to make his fortune.
Right.
And of course, Carrie went on to star in a lot of other comedy films. He was in Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah.
Amongst other things.
He's also in Saw, wasn't he? Or Saw 2 or something like that?
Yeah, he's been in a lot of different stuff. Also famous in this movie is, as some people have said, Jeff Hicks' dad, otherwise known as Andre the Giant.
Yeah. Yeah, Andre the Giant. Oh man! And this was around the time of when I was a kid. I was watching wrestling every what the hell was it? Monday nights it was on, and it was on Saturday nights.
Yeah.
And Andre the Giant was one of my favorites. This is when he was. This movie came out around the time of WrestleMania 3, which was his famous wrestling match with Hulk Hogan for the championship.
Yeah.
And I remember coming home from Little League Baseball that Sunday, and Dad had ordered the pay-per-view, and it was great.
This castle looks familiar. I think this is obviously that's a studio set there.
That's a studio set, yeah.
Yeah. And some really well-known actors in here. Christopher Guest plays Count Rugen, who has the very, posh voice like that. He's really, really evil, but quite polite at the same
evil
time.
Posh. He's one of the new Spice Girls, Evil Posh.
Yeah, it's like when he gets him later on the pain machine. Now I'm just going to take 1 year of your life.
Now, here's the thing where Hollywood screws stuff up. You saw him standing on the parapet of that tower, right? Now the little notches in that is called a crenellation. So the crenellations on the battlement are basically so your archers can stand behind it and fire and rain down hell upon the enemies with their arrows, right?
Yeah.
But if you noticed it only came up to his waist. So what the hell good would it do?
Exactly. None. That was pure Hollywood.
That's Hollywood right there. Pure Hollywood. So typically that would be about 6 feet tall, so you could duck behind it, so that when they return fire, inevitably you don't catch one in the face.
Exactly. You just sneak through the gap and then get out of the way. And here they are, the three. Again, three. And so here
what
you have...
name, Humperdinck, huh?
So here you have Wallace Shawn playing Vizzini. I'm the most intelligent, crafty person in the world. And you've also got
Mandy Patinkin.
Andre the Giant.
Yeah, Andre the Giant. Look at the three. That was funny how the three of them were standing in a row.
Yeah, in order of height.
His hand is compared to her head. Yeah. Holy God.
Yeah. And of course, you've got, this is his real name, Mandy Patinkin.
Yeah, he's a Broadway actor. He's pretty famous in the United States.
Yeah.
Stuff on HBO.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
I mean, obviously, this is his main role. Everyone knows. Yeah. He's actually pretty well known on Broadway.
He's a really good actor, yeah. And he does a very convincing Spaniard because he's obviously not Spanish at all.
He could have been a converso, all right? He's Jewish, but he could have been a converso.
I remember a story he told about this film. There's a scene later on where he couldn't stop laughing. and they had to do it over and over and over again. I think it was Billy Crystal. Billy Crystal was doing something, was just making him laugh, and
Yeah.
he had to just he couldn't stop himself. And when we get that scene, if you watch his face, you can see that he's actually fighting back the laughter.
I like their little ship. It's kind of cute.
It's nice, yeah.
They would do that for travel up and down the Thames, right? They'd have these fancy
Yeah.
ships and stuff that they would just take up, from
Yeah.
Hampton Court to Westminster or whatever.
Yeah, they do loads of these little like replica ships. They're quite popular. They were definitely in the 1980s, like miniature scale. Like the Golden Hind, it's like half scale or something.
Have you ever been to London and seen the replica they did of Sir Francis Drake's ship, the Golden Hind?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
That thing's cool.
There's a full-size replica going, but I mean, they've done that with America. They've got the replicas of the Godspeed at Jamestown.
Oh,
so they've done a few different like replicas of these ships, but yeah, well, I just remember, like you said, the half scale, really crappy ones that they used to do for kids.
Well, I was talking about like even like the Tudors and stuff, like Henry VIII. They'd have little ships like that. They just take them up and down the Thames from like Hampton Court to St. James Palace or whatever.
Yeah, they used to do that. I mean, they still do. I mean,
and so even though this looks like a tiny little boat, it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those boats. I mean, you think about the travel they did, across the Atlantic in tiny little. You would never risk yourself these days, but it just shows you that the skill was there. To survive the crossing, they must have been extremely skilled.
Oh yeah, I mean, just think of the technology the Vikings had with shipbuilding and stuff. What it allowed them to accomplish. That's some pretty crazy stuff. I mean, those long ships could go on rivers and ocean, and open, Atlantic waters. So that's pretty cool.
Now,
so obviously this takes place in the real world because they're talking about Guelders and Florins.
I mean, this is the kingdom of Florin is where it's set, but it is fantastical because they are actually warning her of. There's all these strange and bizarre, hilarious creatures that inhabit the land. I mean, in here there's some sort of the screaming eels. You hear them?
Right.
The screaming eels, and they're not making it up. These things are in the water. But what about the giant rats that inhabit the bogs of eternal stench? Or am I thinking of
Labyrinth, bro?
Labyrinth, yeah. But the fire swamp, that's what it is, isn't it? The fire swamp. That's later to come.
Almost kind of like the folklore mixed in with the real world, obviously, because Guelders were like a Dutch coin, and Florins were from Florence, and so you have these outside influences combined with some strange mythology, almost like Mike Anger's Black Forest,
Yeah. Well, I was going to say there's a lot of. I mean, I love this. This method of telling a story, where it's a story in a story, and it's a welcome trope these days. But back then, there wasn't many films that still did this. So we're watching a story within a story. Yes, as Peter Falk, tells a story.
That's actually a pretty good animatronic eel. It kind of still holds up as far as like practical effects go and like real things as opposed to CGI. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, exactly.
They have that whole Harryhausen. It looks like plastic and it moves fake.
Yeah,
it was good.
Yeah. Well, I think by this stage that kind of stuff was quite advanced. But by the end, because we've done other as we've explored in other movies on the show, the technology towards the end of the 80s, the technology was getting quite good.
That's true. I mean, they kind of did pioneer that sort of technology with Jaws, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, that was definitely one of the first movies to try and get it right and make it look convincing. Oh no, it's the Cliffs of Insanity. So this is these three people have been paid to kidnap the princess, but what's going to happen is somebody's going to catch up with them gradually, to take the princess back. Now, you said earlier, like a lot of these names are like based on real world places. So we've got, for instance, Prince Humperdinck, who
Obviously, it was named after Engelbert Humperdinck, right?
yeah. Who sits on the throne of will sit on the throne of Florin. Here we see Andre the Giant climbing the rope and just lifting them all up on his back.
Oh my goodness. What's your timestamp? How the hell did you get ahead of me?
I'll pause. I'll tell you how I got ahead by a boomer mistake. I tried to start the film and it wouldn't start.
Oh, so I didn't. At least I didn't boomer.
You didn't boomer this time. It was me. Sierra Whiskey, hail Sierra Whiskey in the chat.
Sierra's in the chat. Hey, buddy.
He says, "Inconceivable."
It is. And yeah, now he's pulling them up on the rope. I'm at 14:23.
There he is. I'm gonna. Yeah, you're a little ahead of me now, actually.
Oh my goodness! Here we go. What are you at right now?
I'm in sync now. So
okay,
we've seen the Dread Pirate Roberts is right behind them, climbing up.
Yeah. So this character's always bugged me just because he's kind of a Mary Sue. Yeah. He's like, he has the fastest ship. He's the best sword fighter. All that kind of stuff. Yeah. And he's the best rock climber.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts. That's the one thing I don't like about this movie.
Yeah. It's well, to be honest, the whole thing is comedy. So I think whatever happens in this film, whatever inconsistencies there are, it just doesn't matter, does it? It's one of those movies where, and I know you're thinking, no, that's the wrong sword.
I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about he in everything throughout this movie, he can do everything better than someone else. That looks like they filmed it at Cliffs of Moher in Ireland. Am I correct?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'll check that in a second.
That's County Galway. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's where that is, or at least they got a screenshot of it or something. Or
is he the original, like, not Mary Sue, but
Larry Sue?
Carrie Sue?
Larry Sue, yeah. Or Carrie Sue, whichever.
Yeah.
He's not even using his feet, for Christ's sake. That's all upper body strength. Come on.
Yeah, it is. It's the cliffs at Moher in County Clare.
Yeah.
County Clare. So it was filmed in quite a lot of different places. It was Carl Walk in Sheffield, Burnham Beeches in Buckinghamshire, Lathkildale, where it meets Calesdale in Derbyshire, in County Clare Island, and in Kent, which is Penhurst Place, which is the castle that we saw earlier.
Ah.
I'm waiting! Already! With the thing and the rope and the, I don't. He did such a good job.
Yeah.
This is great, this conversation as well. It's just so funny the way that it's all so tongue-in-cheek.
All right, so
Sierra's saying he's not a Mary Sue. Okay, Carl.
Larry Sue.
He trained for years under the tutelage of the real Dread Pirate Roberts. There you go.
I didn't see the training montage, buddy. Did he also train under the tutelage of, like, the greatest rock climber in the world? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, he trained under Spider-Man.
SJW Spider-Man?
Yeah. Oh, no. Hopefully not. No. This exchange between the two.
Yeah. A nice 16th century swept hilt rapier there.
Yeah. So is
lovely.
the sword sort of accurate? Is the sword accurate?
The grip on it's probably a little bit too long.
Yeah.
But they probably did that for the sake of anyone being the stunt double being able to use something like it, I guess. I don't know. But the grips if it's too much longer than your hand, it's pointless. You see how long that thing is? You can almost fit a hand and a half in there.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, it's pretty accurate. They did late 16th century. They had the swept hilt rapiers into the 17th century.
There we go. I've just modded you, Sierra. I have dubbed you. You are now Sir Whiskey of
So
Sierra.
whiskey.
Rise, Sir Whiskey.
So he's the Dread Pirate Roberts, or he trained under him, huh? So
Yeah.
a little historical context: the actual historical Dread Pirate Roberts was a Welshman named Bartholomew Roberts. Lived from the late 1600s till 1721, and he has the record of the Caribbean pirates, the main ones we talk about. We're not talking about like Somali pirates or any of that stuff. But he has the record for the most number of prizes taken. He took something like 300 prizes, distinct individual ships. His ship, the Royal Fortune, had more guns on it than the Queen Anne's Revenge did. That was obviously Blackbeard's ship. So I think Queen Anne's Revenge mounted something like 40 guns or 29 guns, one of those types of numbers like that. Royal Fortune mounted 42 guns, which is, it's nothing compared to a British ship of the line, even like a third-rate ship of the line, which would have had about 60 guns, but that's still pretty good for a merchant vessel, which is what all pirate ships originally were. 42 guns.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard, obviously, there's a lot of information on him as a historical character.
He's one of the most interesting. If you're into pirates, check out Bartholomew Roberts. The golden age of piracy is considered to have ended when he was killed. Yeah. That's how important he was.
Yes, absolutely. And he was even more important than the completely fictional One-Eyed Willie.
That's true. Which is funny because if you watch Goonies, they say 1632, right? But they're wearing like 1740s clothes. The dead pirates.
Yeah, it's completely
inaccurate. Something you'd expect in the golden age of piracy. Exactly. Like, and when we say that, that's like 1690 to like 1721.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's completely inaccurate, that movie. But I don't think they thought the kids would work it. But yeah, it's this movie that we're watching right now is so well thought out and so well written. So this the character of the Spanish swordsman is just, given his story about the fact that he's got a revenge story of his own. He's trying to find the six-winged man who killed his father and left him scarred. So he's trained to be the best swordsman in the world. This scene here, but this fight scene, what do you think of this, Carl?
I liked it. It was good. I mean, here's the thing about this movie. They wrote it so well, and they put such production quality into it that it's one of those fantasy films you can't really critique on its historical inaccuracies because it doesn't matter. It's just all done so well, and it's a fantasy. They're not trying to be anything it's not.
Exactly. I mean,
so that kind of usually I'm pretty critical about that shit. But,
yeah.
It's pretty good. I mean,
it's really well done. Everybody in it is such a good performer.
The actual sword fighting here is bullshit. I'm going to tell you, they both have rapiers, and you don't slash with a rapier. There's not enough weight in the blade for it to do anything other than cut.
Yeah, it's a tip cutting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's bullshit. They'd be lunging back and forth right now. And when that's choreographed properly and you see an actual rapier fight, that's as amazing as this shit is. It's even better actually, because they're doing other things too. Here's the thing about European sword fighting. I took kendo for a few years, so I studied Japanese sword fighting. But I also did Ren fairs, and I studied this sort of a thing under guys who've actually gone back to Europe and are considered sword masters, maestros, in Italy and Germany and places like that. So the thing about European sword fighting is you're slashing and you're stabbing and stuff, but you're also grappling and you're also punching, you're kicking, you're basically fighting to win. So you see how they're slashing each other. It's an ineffective way to attack with that sort of a weapon. And what you would want to do is you'd want to get a hold of his wrist or something so you can just go in and stab him.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of what's called binding, which is when you come hilt to hilt and you're pushing up against each other. Yeah. And from the bind, basically what you can do is you can either punch him with the hilt of your sword, kick him in the balls, or whatever you got to do to win. No, that was a legitimate
whatever it takes.
That
Now,
was a legitimate technique. If you look at some of the German fencing manuals from the 1400s, they're talking about kicking people in the balls or doing all kinds of stuff.
you see that in Star Wars as well, don't you? I mean, not the original ones, but the newer
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah, you do.
You see them doing that as a means to win the fight. The Sith do that all the time. They punch and kick people in the goolies and
Absolutely.
whatever.
It's perfectly legitimate because at the end of the day, it's your life. You got to do whatever you got to do to win, right?
Yeah.
So Larry Sue studied acrobatics under Mary Lou Retton, apparently, too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
Or
but
whiskey.
it is a tribute to Errol Flynn, though, isn't it? I mean, look
Yeah,
at what he's wearing. It's just it's an homage to Errol Flynn.
yeah, but I mean, it's basic black pants, a shirt, a piratey shirt, a hood, and boots.
Inconceivable.
I mean, anyone can do
that. As Andre, who was apparently world-class bullshit as Jeff Hicks' dad.
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently,
Have you read anything on Andre the Giant, like how he lived and what he did?
He was an amazing guy. He died of was it a heart attack?
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
Because
I actually like Wesley's sword better than I do Inigo's. Wesley's. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Wesley's sword. Look at that hilt. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like it. There's a beauty in that simplicity he has there.
Yeah.
But yeah, he died of a heart attack.
Yeah.
And I think that was partially caused from his condition as well. I think that had something to do with it.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately it was a heart attack.
Yeah. Because I mean, for all that size, his heart wouldn't have been a huge heart. It would have been like a normal size heart.
He would eat. There was like I read an article that or something like way back when he'd sit down and drink like a case of beer at a time and not even be drunk and just keep going.
Yeah. Sierra says, going back to our conversation a moment ago, hilt to hilt is an old medieval sex move. And then he says, I'm coming for you, Carl.
I hope so. Don't threaten me with a good time, buddy.
Yeah. This is funny, this bit, yeah. It's just, there's absolutely no way he can best. So he's bested the best swordsman, but he can't best the giant for strength in a fist fight or a...
Yeah, you really wouldn't want to screw with Andre the Giant.
No.
In a fist fight. I mean, even if he's not that well trained, he's just got to hit you once and it's pretty much over.
Yeah. That's it.
He looks like a giant kid right there. Oh my God.
But talking about Andre, when Goldman originally shopped his novel in the 1970s, his first choice for Fezzik was Andre the Giant, because the wrestling schedule left him unavailable for filming. Goldman's second choice would have been Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Who was, as we know, was unknown. He later on went to do Conan, as we've done already in our other stream. But can you imagine if this was Carey fighting Arnold Schwarzenegger?
That'd be pretty good.
Well, this film would just be completely different.
It would be
if Arnie had took this role. It just would it have worked? I think it would have been a complete flop because it wouldn't have worked. Andre is a giant. Arnie's big, but he's not a giant.
No, yeah,
that would have been.
He's not a giant.
Yeah. But imagine, can you imagine what it would look like?
By the time this thing came out, Arnold was big by this point.
Oh, yeah.
By the time the actual movie came out. Yeah, see, all he's got to do is hit you once and it's over.
Yep. So now the final person for him to beat is the brains of the operation, Vizzini. But while that's happening, here we see Prince Humperdinck, who's on the heels of all of them trying to get the princess back.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if this influenced Shrek.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I dig it. Yeah, I bet you it did.
You know, the evil prince/king who wants to marry the trophy wife.
Yeah.
You know?
And they just substituted Shrek for the... Would you two shut up?
Yeah.
Sorry, Pete.
Who let the dogs out?
Yeah, the neighbor's got a new dog, and he's a big dog, and they hate him.
All right. Yeah, yeah.
Murder each other.
What's it? What's that song? Something about milkshake in the yard.
I have no idea.
Damn
Even if
right,
I knew,
it's better than
I
yours.
that.
Is there some sort of like? Is it rivalry, dog rivalry going on?
Yeah, the new kid on the block wants to horn in on the territory, and they want to just jack him
Right,
up.
I got it. So here's Vicini, and this is the famous trial with. I still can't make sense of this even now. You know, when it's explained to me, I still
Don't even try.
Sierra, Pete Mac's milkshake brings all the dogs to the. I don't even want to imagine that. So what is this about the wine? I'm trying to remember because he poisons one, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Right. And this is the most poisonous thing ever. I remember how he beats him now.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say anything, but I remember how he beats him. It's called iocane powder.
That cheese actually looks pretty good.
It does. It's a nice little setup they've got going on there. So here's the iocane powder going in the wine. Sierra, don't give it away. Don't read Sierra's comment in the chat, anybody watching, because it'll spoil it for you.
He's
Spoilers.
a bad man. He's a bad man.
Spoilers. So yeah, so it's in one of the glasses of wine, but it's so simple. All I have to do is divine from what I know of you. Are you the sort of man who could put the poison in his own goblet or his enemies? Now, this is a bit where he sort of outsmarts the smart guy because he makes Vizzini overthink it.
Mm-hmm.
So he sort of makes Vizzini defeat himself.
Yep. I like that. Truly, you have a dizzying intellect.
And this is the other reference. Iocane comes from Australia, tiny people by criminals. Of course, this is historically set in the 1500s. And of course, Australia, people didn't know it existed. So it is just a complete hodgepodge, isn't it, of different things thrown together. Yeah, yeah. You're just stalling. Now, going back to while having that conversation very quickly, the other casting, apparently you were saying about the fight earlier on. Apparently Carrie Elwes, I'll have to learn how to pronounce that, and Mandy Patinkin learned to fence, both left and right-handed, for the film, and performed these scenes themselves.
Pretty impressive.
So they did actually learn some fencing.
Pretty impressive.
They're both trained by fencing instructors. It's funny how we talked about Star Wars, actually. Bob Anderson and Peter Diamond, both of them had also worked on the Star Wars films. So the people who trained them in fencing had worked on training Mark Hamill, amongst other people. So here we go. He's just drank the wine.
Yeah.
You only think I get wrong. You fool, you fall victim to one of the classic blunders. The most famous blunder was invading a country in Southeast Asia. Where's that, Cole?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and there he goes.
We don't talk about that one. Bang, he's out.
Yeah, we don't talk about that one. Oh,
there we go. Just like there's a couple of things we don't talk about.
right. She looks too much like Brie Larson for my tastes.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, she's not that. She's attractive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
like his little tunic. That's very nice with a little bit of mink fur on the fringe. Classy.
yes. So, oh, so what we're seeing now here is they're escaping. Now this is Derbyshire. Where they
This
are.
right here.
Yeah,
Oh, there you go.
which is sort of near Yorkshire, or in Yorkshire, you could say. Yeah, she's a little bit square jawed, isn't she?
Yeah.
Right.
She's got a squarer jaw than he does.
Yeah, she could take. She could, be a good boxer.
Right. Left
Take
hook.
his
She's
all on.
his lower face.
Yeah, he's got like more of a aquiline jaw than she has.
You can say it, feminine.
Oh, toxic masculinity.
That was
Carl,
toxic.
did you see that?
That was toxic.
Masculinity. Oh, hey, that's problematic.
Is this consensual right here?
And here's Humperdinck catching up. He's an expert tracker, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, why did he have to smell the cigarette or the poison or whatever?
It's like in crime movies, isn't it? They always taste the cocaine. Why did they taste the cocaine to tell that it's cocaine? You know what I mean?
Right. But why would he have to do that if he just saw her print right there?
Yeah. Now, and of course, the dialogue, it's continuously moving ahead, isn't it? There's never like a break. It is really well written compared, the way they've taken it from the book into the film. So this is the bit where he's trying to tell her who he is, that how doesn't she remember?
Trying to bait her into saying that she loves him.
Yeah.
This is emotional blackmail right here.
Yeah. Well, in this case, I think he's trying to tell her that what he's gone through, to try and make money, and he's come back to find out that she was going to marry another man. So he's obviously a bit peeved with her. So he's trying to get the truth. He's trying to find out, is she still? It's a bit like Odysseus returning to.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Is it Penelope?
Yeah, was it Penelope? Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah.
Ithaca, wherever.
And he's trying to find out if she's still faithful. He's doing like a faithfulness test here.
What a bastard!
Yeah. And I've got to say, the mask isn't the best, though, is it? It looks like it's made out of paper mache,
or like some weird rubber or something.
Anyway.
That kind of rubber, just like
the dread pirate rubber mask.
The dread pirate rubber mask. Yeah. Dude, she's gonna headbutt him. Look at that.
There we go. Chucked him down the side of the hill.
Oh, there he goes.
I finally remembered who he is. I don't know how thrown him off the. Oh, of course. Yeah, he shouted, didn't he? He said, "As you wish," didn't he?
Ugh.
So now she remembers who he is.
Slope on that,
that's beautiful countryside around there.
I'm saying, look at you can see the stunt double looks nothing like him.
Yeah. Got some more Spongle helms there.
Yeah, Spongenhelm, yeah.
Spongle die Helmet.
Spongenhelm. You can tell that their mail is made of like wool that's knitted or something.
Yeah. Oh, blue dolphin scene.
There we go. She might have internal injuries. Now is not the time, sir.
Yeah.
There's time for that later.
Yeah. Well, I think this is what you call, maybe not a roll in the hay, but a roll down a hill.
Yeah. With the definite possibility of cracked ribs at the bottom, if not worse.
So there you go. So there's the smoochy kiss, and we're back to the room where the granddad's telling the kid, "It's kissing again." Is that an actual copy of the real, the real book itself? Do you think? Because it was a real book. It was published in the 70s, wasn't it?
It probably is. I mean, why
Yeah.
not, right?
Yeah. So, by the way, an ATV is that like a large vehicle? An ATV,
All-terrain vehicle. It's like
because
it's a big classification of vehicles. There's a lot of things that can be considered an ATV.
Well, Andre the Giant apparently needed one to get onto the different locations. It's just too big for the cars.
Wow.
He needed an actual ATV to transport him because he was big, being a giant. So this is a fire swamp with the what are they called? The rats of enormous size or something?
Hell if I know, bro. I haven't seen this in 20 years.
I think the last time the witch is looking at him there, it's like,
Yeah.
it's a kind of look a woman gives a husband when they're looking for a house.
Yep.
And the house is a shit heap. And the bloke's going, "Yeah, it's a fixer-upper." And the wife's just going, "Are you fucking kidding?"
Exactly. It looks like it smells pretty bad too. I couldn't imagine that walking around would be not pleasant.
Oh, yes. Well, it's a fire swamp, but it also farts and all sorts of horrible smells. And the giant
Probably
rat.
pretty sulfury smelling.
Yeah.
Is he wearing eyeliner?
I think he is, yeah. And I think he's wearing false eyelashes as well.
That's very soy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. It's a soy overload. It is.
Check this out on the Amazon Prime, the little sidebar that comes up. They show a picture of Robin right now, and she looks better now than she did then.
Yeah, that was it. I was looking at her earlier and thought, yeah, she looks. It's really weird. She looks better now than she did then. Strange.
Mm-hmm.
So Rob Reiner first read the book The Princess Bride back when he was starring in All in the Family in 1971. Yeah.
Meathead,
so this is a bit where he's talking about who he is and how he got to be the Dread Pirate Roberts.
And just FYI to our viewers, you're not hacking through any brush with a rapier. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So he's saying he started out as a valet, and Roberts said, "Yeah, fine, but I'll probably kill you in the morning." And this went on for some years, and he wanted to retire. So basically, told him the reality of the story, which is that there's been a succession of Dread Pirate Roberts who just take the name on board.
Kind of like Ace Rimmer, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly like Ace Rimmer. Smoke me a kipper.
That's another thing we got to do, buddy. We got to just throw on a season of watch it live.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite episodes of that is the Gunmen of the Apocalypse. That's one of the best episodes ever.
What is mine? Mine's probably what the hell's the one with Dwayne Dibley?
Oh yeah, there's a couple of different episodes with Dwayne Dibley. There's the one with the squid.
The alternate reality.
Yeah, where they all wake up as if they've been in a game for the deep immersion. And then there's the other one where it's Psychomorph 2, where he gets his cool and panache sucked out of him and ends up.
Sorry to get away from the subject of this film for 1 second, but actually my favorite is Rimmer's World. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Rimmer's World.
What's that the frogs are saying? What's that the frogs are saying? Rimmer's useless. Rimmer's useless. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. So they've just dug down into the swamp there to try the sand,
ubiquitous
quicksand. Yeah,
every adventure film of all time.
Everyone, and while we're waiting for them to come back, one of the giant rats has turned up and walked away, which you can obviously see is a person in a costume, because giant rats are difficult to come by.
I wonder if it's Warwick Davis.
Yeah, Warwick, hard up for a job at that point.
This is right before Willow and right after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
That's a couple of
well,
years. Man's got to make some money.
yeah, well, he's got a good CV for it. He's done a lot of dressing up as little furry things, so it's it's in his wheelhouse, so to speak.
That's ableist. All right, that's ableist. You're calling him a midget.
Sizist, ableist. Oh, there we go. They're gonna get attacked now by the.
Oh, you as long as I say I'm in America, you don't say things like that.
Oh no, yeah. Rodents of incredibly large size. Is that right?
Yeah.
And the fight between him and the rodents is just about to start now.
Out of the frying pan into the fire, huh?
It's quite a large set here as well, and but unlike Krull, we're not going to spend about 5 years in the swamp. The swamp scene.
They're moving along pretty nice.
Yeah. Here's the fight with the giant rat thing. Bitten on the arm. So as well as being a comedy, it's an OTT action film. It's totally over the top. But,
yeah. That is one ugly son of a bitch. Oh yeah, man.
That's grabs it by the tail. Yeah, Warwick's doing a good job in that suit.
Good job.
Yeah, good job, Warwick.
Beating the crap out of it with a club.
They could have just, because he's getting bitten all over by this thing. I mean, he'd be perforated.
The best swordsman in the world.
Yeah.
But this thing's giving him trouble?
Yeah.
No.
And his shoulder's all a mess now.
His shoulder is messed up. He got jacked up.
Yeah.
And he's stabbing in the guts. That's just messed up, man.
He's stabbing. Die!
For the head or the heart. He's stabbing in the lower.
Oh, yeah. You see the way the little hands went, shook around. Look, died. So now they're just out of the what is it? Out of the woods. And,
the riverbank. Where is this at?
I think this is the bit where it's in Kent. This bit.
It's lovely.
Yeah, there's some fantastic old woods in England. One of them might even be the same place where they filmed. The Phantom Menace. There's the woods in Phantom Menace on Naboo. That was filmed in. I think that was somewhere in Kent. So here's Prince Humperdinck and Count Rugen, who've cut them off. Crossbowmen there coming out from behind the trees.
I don't know about that strap on the crossbow. I think that might get in the way of the working mechanism of the crossbow. I don't know that was ever done, but it's cool that they got crossbowmen.
Yeah. And now he's making a fake, because he's a complete cad. He's a lying swine, so of course he'll say anything just to keep her happy.
Right.
Take him back to Florin and throw him in the pit of despair.
Sounds fun.
Dan.
It sounds fun. The pit of despair.
And another character who, I don't know whether the American audiences are aware of who he is, but the albino, or albino, whichever way you pronounce it.
I like it when you pronounce it albino.
Yeah, it's played by Mel Smith, who was a very famous comedian and comic writer in Britain. He was one of the first alternative comedians in Britain before.
He's not naturally albino, is he?
No. I mean, he's dead now as well. He died. I think he died of a heart attack a couple of years ago. But he started a show with, amongst other people, Rowan Atkinson, who, Blackadder.
Yeah.
So this is way back when. But there, now we know who the six-fingered man is. And there's
Right.
Mel Smith.
Oh yeah. There he is.
Yeah, they had him and Griffith Jones, who was a Welsh comedian. They had a show called Alas Smith and Jones, which was a piss take of the alias Smith and Jones.
Right.
And so here, this is the laboratory of Count Rugen, which includes the pain machine.
Looks like a nice place to work.
And he's just woken up. Where am I? The pit of despair. Don't even think.
The pustules around the mouth are what kills me.
Yeah. It's the joke about the funny croaky voice, and it's like, and then he just starts talking perfectly normally because he just had something in his throat.
Right.
So a little bit about Mel Smith. Confessed to never having watched his performance in the film because of a painful experience involved in filming the role. The character required him to wear coloured contact lenses, and unknown to Smith in the costume department, he was actually allergic to the solution. So he was in constant pain and discomfort throughout the filming. Therefore, he never wanted to watch it. So that's professionalism. You wouldn't get that today from, the soy-baked sense of entitlement actors that you get these days.
That's very true.
The show must go on.
Their little exchange in there was hilarious for anyone that was paying attention to it. That was great.
There's loads of little jokes as well that throughout the whole thing, isn't there?
Yeah. I like the tapestries on the walls. It's nice. Nice touch.
Yeah, this castle that you're seeing, it's not it's one of those ones Victorians added to. It's not actually authentically, It's like
some lord had as a manor house and he updated.
Made it like mock Tudor and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. They call that neo-Gothic.
Yeah. Every young boy should have a half-eaten pack of Cheetos behind him behind his bed.
Absolutely. Oh God, the old package of Cheetos. That's what they used to look like.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, it's been a long time. He's got He-Man in the back. Well, not He-Man. That's what those are. He-Man figures back there.
Now we've just seen that quick cut where he'd killed his father or the father had died, and like within a second, the next scene was him as the king. So we just cut out that whole bit because the grandson didn't want to see it.
Right.
And of course, he's only doing this to get a reaction from him because the real story is that this hasn't happened yet. So he's trying to get the young boy to get interested in it. The Queen of Refuge. Bow down to her. The Queen of Slime. The Queen of Filth. The Queen of Putrescence. We should have asked Mike Anger onto the stream, shouldn't we? We would have really enjoyed getting involved in it. The sort of the fairy tale element of this.
Sounds like how I feel every time I listen to a war campaign.
Degeneracy.
Exactly. I mean that in the best possible way.
Yes. Oh, that's a Welsh wolfhound, isn't it?
Let me see. Oh, you're a little bit ahead of me.
Irish wolfhound, sorry.
Oh yeah, that's an Irish wolfhound.
Irish wolfhound, yeah. They are fantastic dogs there.
Well, that's probably why there's no more wolves in Ireland.
Yeah, because of those. Definitely useful dogs.
They're big. They don't live very long, then they get joint problems and stuff. So,
but a lot of pedigree dogs get problems like that.
Yeah.
So again, the princess has gone to ask about, what's happened to Wesley, and he's lying to her again, just saying that he's perfectly okay.
Right, absolutely.
Nothing to see here. Move along, move along. 4 fastest ships, one in each direction. So is this a bit like sexist? Because she's blonde, she's dumb enough to fall for it.
Quite possibly. Remember, this is the 80s.
Yeah. And the best bit is obviously the fight's going to come up later on between Count Rugen and Inigo Montoya.
He didn't care that much. She's he's the prince. He could have any woman in the realm he really wants. Is it really worth all this trouble and your life over?
Yeah, I think this is the only reason it's happened like this is because as a story, it's supposed, even though it's comedy, it's trying to show that.
Yeah, but dude, I don't know if there's any woman in the world that's worth all that.
I think really it's just like the idea. That's where he can't remember which knob to push to get the door to open. I'm starting him in the machine tonight. Tyrone, you know how much I love watching you work, but I've got my country's 500th anniversary to plan, my wedding to arrange, my wife to murder, and gilded frame for it. I'm swamped. He says, get some rest. If you haven't got your health, you haven't got anything. That's just the level of cynicism. By the way, nipple clumps.
Yes, Blue Dolphin. That makes sense now. It makes more sense. He needs her because he's got to have someone he can murder that has no real attachment to the ability of his realm.
Yeah.
So they can blame on Gilder, right?
Yeah, exactly. And of course, the pain machine, 2 suction cups on either side of the head, but the other suction cups go on the nipples.
Yeah.
That's how you suck the life out of somebody, through the nipples. Oh, no. This be our first try. I'm going to go slowly. This is where he takes 1 year. It's like, and then it's just the way he says, okay,
It's
now.
very elaborate.
It's very Monty Python, all of this.
Yeah.
Okay, now tell me how that felt.
Now, we don't exactly see how it's working. We just know the wheel something.
It's just the fact that this is what real psychosis is like. You don't think you're doing anything wrong. As you know, the constant suction pump is centuries old. Really, that's all this is. Except that instead of sucking water, I'm sucking life. I've just sucked 1 year of your life away. And he's just crying on the table. So let's just start with what we have. What did this do to you? Tell me. Oh, dear.
Posterity, so be honest.
And here's the now King Humperdinck. Now, this guy who's just walked through here. Yellen is also a very famous English actor. He's been in a lot of different stuff. He does tend to. This is the arm joke. Now, this is where he's trying to frame the other country for killing or murdering his wife. Here she turns up. Some other actors that you'll see in the film as well are Peter Cook, who plays the impressive clergyman with the famous quote, which people often impersonate: "Marriage."
Right.
I think this film's famous for one-word quotes more than anything else I can think. So here's the
Forest, huh?
yeah. These are very much like Robin Hood, aren't they? These kind of bandits being cleared out. And rounding everybody up and taking them out of the forest.
So now we find good old Inigo Montoya again, huh?
Yeah. Mandy Patinkin. So he was in Spinal Tap, wasn't he?
Who was that?
Mandy Patinkin, wasn't he?
No, really?
Was he?
I don't know. I'll look it up.
Oh, I'm thinking of the writer. Sorry, it was the developer was Rob Reiner.
Oh yeah.
Who developed the movie, and he was also responsible for This Is Spinal Tap and Stand By Me. That's what I was thinking of. So, so the gang's getting back together. Andre the Giant's managed to find Mandy, or Physics managed to find Inigo, and they're looking after each other. And
so
sorry, go ahead.
It's very sweet.
Yeah,
they're bros.
Yeah. Nursing him back to health. Head in the soup. Great care in reviving him.
Face first into the stew.
Are you at the bit where he's getting his head dunked?
Yeah, just after he just got pulled out.
Yeah. I think we're about synced now. Yeah,
I've been a little ahead of you. 1 hour and 15 minutes or something.
Yeah. So at my best, I could never defeat that many. I need Vicini to plan. I have no gift for strategy. I need the man in black. It's a bit of a Zorro thing as well, isn't there? With that character.
I just think of that. That's good. It's true.
I mean, this must be the biggest sort of inspiration for Shrek. I mean, you've got the Spanish swordsman who later became Puss in Boots.
Right.
Played. So this is just. I would not be shocked if this was the main inspiration for Shrek. This movie.
I agree.
Sharpening his. Is that a dirk?
No, it's just a dagger.
Just a dagger.
Yeah, it's probably a parrying dagger. He's got the little.
Or a letter opener.
Yeah, he's got the little piece on the hilt that comes out.
Yeah. You don't sharpen a blade like that on a rough old stone, though, do you?
You could.
Okay.
You could. The main strength of that sort of a dagger, though, is in its thrusting ability.
Yeah.
You'd probably use that in combination with your rapier.
Yeah. So again, again, Buttercup's asking what's going on. I don't believe you. It's just, I mean, she knew he's lying all the time, but she just hoped. So now she thinks he's dead again, or he's killed him. And she looks all right here, actually.
Bad?
She looks okay here with the costume they got her in here. Not quite as Brie-ish as earlier.
Yeah, they did something with her hair and the blue dress. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah. Now, so here we go. Now we've got the real toxicity coming up here, Carl. This is the get in the room and you don't come out until you say sorry.
Mm.
Oh yeah, and he to take revenge, he goes in here and puts the pain machine right up, and
He's running too.
yeah,
Like, let's get this done fast.
yeah, no matter what the storybooks say, there's no such thing as true love or this, that, and the other. So this is the other thing. This story's about romance. Is there such a thing as true love? We know what happens in the movie. About that, he sticks it right up to 50, not to 50, and basically kills him. But does he kill him? Does he kill him? Is he dead or nearly dead?
Hold on. Mrs. Hungus just came in. I'm sorry. I'll mute my
Oh,
mic.
you can mute. I'll continue. So for those of you watching at home, the lovely Mrs. Hungus has arrived back at Hungus Villa, Hungus Manor, bearing beers and roast beef for Mr. Hungus. Meanwhile, on Movie Watch, everybody in the village, or at least Inigo and Andre the Giant, have heard the scream and they're wondering what's going on. So they're going to try and find the Dread Pirate. You're back.
Back.
And my kindest regards to Mrs. Hungus. So Fezzik is going to jog the albinos wherever. And now when I'm looking at Will Smith, I'm thinking all I can think of was the pain he was in the entire time. Father, I have failed you for 20 years. That's a really nice hilt on that sword.
It's pretty fancy.
Somewhere.
Looks like something that was belonging to the King of Spain or whatever.
Yeah. Because his dad was a sword maker, wasn't he? That's why he did it. Because the guy got the sword off him, and not the one he's got, but the 600 man, and then killed him immediately after taking the sword off him. This is where he thinks he's an absolute idiot because he ends up being guided by the sword. He ends up at the tree.
So the joke's on us because he's actually is being guided by the sword.
Yeah, yeah. Now, apparently he does live performances, Mandy Patinkin. Just to hear out of the famous line, "My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die." So he gets requests.
That's funny. I'm sure he's tired of that.
There we go. So there's a little bit of trivia there off Amazon, actually. William Goldman, according to the William Gold, he did originally appeal to hoped that Arnold would be the giant. That would never work.
Right, no way.
So this is a touching scene here between Peter Falk and Fred Savage, the grandson, because the little lad's asking, "No, he's not really dead, is he? He's not dead. He's a hero. He can't die." And this is about stories are there to help you grow up because it's about learning that.
Right.
Oh, he's just look at that language, Timothy. That's terrible. But you see that joystick on his bed, by the way? I used to have exactly like that for computer games when I was a kid. What happened to joysticks? You can't get them now, can you? They just got the control pads. But yeah, this telling the story, like, life is actually full of all sorts of horrible shit. And storytelling's one of the ways to explain to kids, look, shit things happen in life. Not to make them feel depressed, but just help to prepare them for the real world. And I think I can't remember who I was listening to the other day, but there were somebody was talking about how all of this keeping kids protected from reality, and the stories they have these days are so saccharine and safe. They're not it was Mike Anger actually I was listening to. They're not preparing kids for the reality of life, Right. So here's Billy Crystal. So this is Billy Crystal playing playing the part of Miracle Max. Now his wife, I can't remember the name of the actress who plays his wife, but they're like an arguing old couple. I've seen Waste.
Oh my god, this picture they have a Billy Crystal on Amazon.
Watch Mandy's face throughout the whole of this scene, right? He's fighting back the laughter because it's like they just couldn't get through this without without him laughing because of the way Billy was going on it. So see the way he said that this is noble, sir. He's like, it's just. There we go. So he's telling them it's a noble cause. You're a rotten liar. I need him to help avenge my father murdered these 20 years. Your first story was better.
His children are on the brink of starvation.
Are you at the bit there where he's just got the bellows? He's about to put the bellows in his mouth.
I somehow fell behind you. Now I got the bellows. I skipped forward 10 seconds. He's got those in hand now.
Now he's mostly dead. He's slightly alive. Now all dead. Well, with all dead, there's usually only one thing we do. What's that? Go through his clothes and look for loose change. Hey, hello in there. Hey.
Sorry, they were voicing their wanting to kill the dog next door again.
Yeah, dogs of war. To love. So he's there's still some life in him there. Mutton, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. Yeah, well, obviously it's going to be mutton for Billy, isn't it? It's not going to be bacon.
Sounds good, actually. I'd like a mutton sandwich right now.
To blave. But yeah, well, mutton. Here she comes. It's Carol. That's Carol Kane. Yeah. So is this what we all end up like when we get old? Just yelling at each other?
Just you wait. You and the missus will be there soon enough. Humperdinck, Humperdinck, Humperdinck.
Yeah. By the way, Max and Valerie were named after William Goldman's parents. So he's actually portraying his own parents in this film. He shouldn't go swimming for at least 2 weeks. Afterwards, bye, boys. Have fun storming the castle. Think it'll work? It would take a miracle. Bye. Not a stereotype whatsoever. Oh, we're back to those. That's probably the same battlement that we saw earlier.
The bullshit battlement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that when it was next to his head, it was like 4 inches thick.
So again, I saw it move there a bit actually.
Historical fortification, that wall would be 2 meters thick.
Yeah.
Oh, you see it move when Andre leaned up against
I was saying, Andre's that big. He's basically making it move because it's obviously just plywood.
It's polystyrene.
Yeah. Now this is the bit where the character Wesley is now he's walking, he's able to speak and talk and look and everything, but his body can't move at all.
Right.
And the joke later on is that he can't get out of bed and fight the evil King Humperdinck. But we'll watch and wait to see what happens there. You just wiggled your finger. That's wonderful. I've always been a quick healer. It's impossible.
Yep.
If I had a monthly plan, maybe I could come up with something. No, you shook your head. It doesn't make you happy. Now imagine if that had been Schwarzenegger doing this. It just
Yeah,
wouldn't have
no, it
worked.
would be the same.
It would have been one of the most trippiest films ever made.
Yeah.
If we only had a wheelbarrow.
Why didn't you list that amongst our assets in the first place?
Oh. Became a cult classic, by the way. This after it was released on home video.
Yeah,
it's widely regarded.
Our generation knows this movie, has seen it, and it's like one of those films that everyone in our generation,
everybody knows about. Yeah,
has a hard on for.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Eminently quotable. It's regarded as. The film's 30th anniversary. The fans still frequently come to Elvis, the main character. People still come up to him and quote lines from the movie. And apparently Wallace Shawn had it worse. The amount of people who kept coming up to him and shouting "inconceivable" in his face for years later.
Imagine how annoying that would be.
Yeah, very, very. So now it's nighttime, and they're going to try and storm the castle. This is literally, do you know what this reminds me of? It's like, I mean, we call football, but obviously you call it soccer over there, and it's like when.
I call it football too.
Oh, good. Well, it's when they're all standing in front of the goal for a free kick. But like, imagine that times 10. So you've got 100 people standing at the gate, so you can't get through. Here's Peter Cook with a famous line, "Marriage." Peter Cook, one of the funniest, cleverest men ever to have existed. Marriage is what brings us together today. It's the idea of a really serious bishop with a ridiculous voice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's an even bigger giant now.
That's funny. Whoa.
So, Andre the Giant was like probably one of the most famous wrestlers of the 80s then.
Yeah, he was pretty famous.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Now he's on fire. Rav, true Rav, forever. Your souls. I honestly think Andre had a great time filming this. You can tell he's having a good time.
This was really close to the end of his life, so yeah. I mean, I hope he did.
Yeah.
This poor guy, he did nothing wrong. This guy did nothing wrong. He didn't know.
And of course, portcullis is nothing for Andre the Giant.
Nope.
It wasn't a real portcullis, like it was made out of wood.
No.
A wooden portcullis is not going to really be useful. You just need to, you can just burn it.
Classic mistake, not killing off the, trying to off the main character in a Bond villain fashion.
Yeah. I don't think Peter Cook got paid very much for this role. This was towards the end of his career where he wasn't getting very many roles, so took what he could get. That's a great joke. That where he's sort of half walking, just pure slapstick. That's another thing about this movie. It just puts, every type of comedy. You've got wit. You've got cynicism. Kill the dark one, but leave the third one for questioning. And it's a bit where he kills off all the guards instantly, and then for a second, Count Rugen's like in a fight. Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya.
Yeah.
You killed my father. Prepare to die. And then it's like the Count just goes, right, fuck that. Runs in the opposite direction.
See you later.
See ya. Which is what you would do, if you knew you couldn't win.
Giant.
Oh man.
Prop him up against the armor.
Yeah.
Now, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
If you're living in a medieval world, why would you have armor in your hallway? You'd want your men to be wearing that, right?
Exactly. That is a bit strange because nowadays we have armor as a, in castles too, but for austerity and but back then it's a bit like if you had a Glock machine gun or something, instead of putting it somewhere where it's safe or whatever, having it on. Actually, people do that, don't they? They have stuff on display. So maybe not a good example.
That's all right. I know what you meant.
Yeah. It's anachronistic, I think, is the word.
Yeah.
Chosen.
Yeah.
So he's gone off to fight. So they're all going at their own little personal
side quest
now, all split up into the different battles. Which is a bit tropey. That usually happens at the end of films, but it works really well. I think it's a Shakespearean device, where everybody splits off to have their own little quests at the end of a story.
Dagger right there.
Yep. Oh,
it's very sneaky of you. Ooh.
Yeah.
Right in the guts. That's not fun. Not fatal, but not fun.
Yeah. So I think it's all over. You must be the little Spanish brat I taught a lesson to all those years ago. Simply incredible. I think that's the worst thing I've ever heard. I think it's all over for him there.
Well, Pete, in about 5 minutes or so, I'm going to take my leave of you, buddy.
Yeah, we're not far from the end now, actually. It's we've got about 12 minutes left in the movie, but about 5 minutes that'll be ending titles. But, whenever you need to go, just hop out and that's fine. I'll finish it up after that. But we've literally got like 4 minutes of the movie left, I think, now.
All right, then. We're good then. So now she's contemplating suicide with that lovely bone hand.
And as he's just said, they're perfectly formed breasts. It'd be a shame to just harm them.
Yeah, there's
toxic masculinity again.
There's better.
Yeah.
Remember, this is the era of Baywatch. So.
Oh yeah. Better. Okay. Yeah. Pamela Anderson. I remember that. Yeah. So he's pulled the dagger out, Inigo Montoya.
Struggling to his feet.
You've got an overdeveloped sense of vengeance. It's going to get you into trouble someday. It's just brilliant the way that he's injured, but he's still able to fend off the blows. Hello, my name is... And this is a bit brilliant that way. He just keeps repeating this same line. Over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Pretty iconic moment.
Yeah.
He got jacked up. He got wounded in the arm, both
Yeah, he's been
shoulder,
stabbed everywhere.
shoulder.
Yeah, cold steel.
Yeah.
Cold steel.
Well, there's a certain courage when you know you're going to die anyways. You may as well just go for it,
Oh,
right?
exactly. So he's doing the same to him, you see, stabbing him in the arms and that just to take the piss.
Yeah.
There we go. He's got him.
Shoulder.
And he's slashed his cheeks like he did to him. Full circle. And then he offers him offer me everything. Anything you want. And stabs him. I want my father back,
really
you
good,
son of a
actually.
bitch. Best line ever. I want my father back, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Go. That is the best revenge line ever. I got married. I didn't want to. It all happened so fast. Yeah, right. And you're not married. Yeah. Apparently, Rotten Tomatoes gives this film a 97% rating, but we don't give a shit what Rotten Tomatoes says anymore, do we, really? We know this is a good movie. Yeah, we don't need rotten shitheads to tell us.
Rotten shitheads.
Yeah.
Here we go. Now Humperdinck's going to show us what he got.
Now, this is a bit where he thinks Wesley can't get out of the bed because he's still paralyzed. But what he's doing is he's talking long enough so that he can, his body can revive.
The first time in his life someone dared insult him.
Yeah.
If I'm paralyzed on the bed, or seemingly
Yeah.
so, and I'm going to die anyways, I'm going to insult you, buddy.
Why not? Next time, all the bits he's going to chop off him. Your ears you keep, and I'll tell you why. So that every shriek of every child seeing your hideousness will be yours to cherish. Every babe that weeps at your approach. Dear God, what is that thing? Echo in your perfect ears. That is what to the pain means. I think you're bluffing. It's possible. I might be bluffing.
Vomitous mass. That's a good insult.
Vomitous mass, yeah. Then again, perhaps I have the strength after all. So it's the old trope of the clever hero who's able to use his wits to survive.
Right.
There we go. Drop your sword. And he pretty much does, because he's a whimpering soy boy.
Yep. He's a soy boy.
Get in the seat. There you go.
How quickly they turn.
Yep.
Full of bravado one moment, then when faced with a clearly toxic male, he backs down.
So I think basically we've seen it's a different story from normal heroes' journeys, because the hero is already fully developed when he comes back to fight. Did we say Clary Sue? Or Carey Sue? These wonderful white horses that he's got. But the journey really is between the two of them resolving their differences, getting back to know each other and learning to trust each other again. I think that's the real journey, because she's forgotten about him and he's got to trust her again. So it is a romance, but it's a romantic comedy, really. But it plays with all of the normal, fairy tale and adventure sort of stories and parodies them all of the stereotypes and cliches.
That's true. I don't know if I'd be smiling like that if I just leapt out a second-story window into the arms of Uncle June.
That's a
I'd be
huge
terrified.
recipe. Have you considered piracy? You'd make a wonderful Dread Pirate Roberts, because he's Inigo's saying, I'm a bit bored now. I've completed the revenge thing.
Joe, move on to his next journey.
That's it. So out they ride, and by the time the story's over, off into the sunset, the grandson now is completely fixated with the story, and this is where he's not going to read the smoochy bit. No, it's kissing her. You don't want to hear that. But by this stage, he's got interested in the novel. So
yeah.
Since the invention of the kiss, there have been 5 kisses. Well, there you go. This one left them all behind. So yeah, a really clever comedy, witty, fun, well written, and that's why it's a classic.
Yeah, it's good. So everyone from childhood. I don't know how much of that is nostalgia from childhood, but still holds up.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those movies which you can just watch over and over and over again. It never ever gets old.
There are people that do.
And yeah, I'm not at the stage where I know it off by heart or anything like that. So the granddad's going now, and then the grandson says, "Grandpa, maybe you can come over and read it again to me tomorrow." So it's about family as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about the older generation, the younger
generation,
all that kind of stuff.
That's it.
And a lot of good family stuff here, even though Meathead was behind it.
Yeah.
He's a commie.
Yeah. And the love, that families have for people and families have for each other. So a really good story altogether. Yeah. So thank you to everybody who turned up to listen and watch, and whoever's going to be watching recorded. Everybody in the chat there. And again, this will be available to watch if you want to watch this recorded. Thank you again. And with that, and thank you to Carl, my guest, for appearing tonight.
Thanks again, buddy.
It's a pleasure. And we'll wrap it up there. Thank you very much, everybody.